Another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Donald.
I know. Chief.
Chief, welcome back.
Chief, welcome back.
Episode 64.
64, geez, getting up there.
It's getting up there, yeah. How are you, mate? What's happening?
Yeah, going well. We're in Ireland, about to do this big hike. So we're in this little town called Anniscall for the next 2 days.
Yep.
And then we go hiking for 5 days. I think it's going to be like, I don't know, 15 Ks a day or more of hiking. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment.
15 Ks of hiking. How long is that meant to take out of the day?
Probably a while. I think like when we booked it, we were kind of thinking like, oh yeah, like we can do like the hardest one, like no worries.
We're fit.
Yeah. Now here it's like, oh, I kind of actually want to do other stuff during the day than just hike. But
My
I'm
first thought was like, how are you going to fit training in with a 15K day hike?
Yeah, that as well. Like it's gonna be just a big week, I think. And there's a race on Thursday as well that's like pretty much just a write-off now. But oh well.
What were you gonna do on Thursday?
Oh, I signed up for this it's like a 4-mile race.
That's right, yeah,
Cork.
you were saying before, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it would have been a good one to see where I was at, but yeah, probably not anymore with all the hiking.
So can you train?
Yeah, I'll still be training,
Okay.
but it'll just be like big days. It's going to be a very like heavy week. Probably be like the biggest week of the training block, just with all the hiking on top of running.
Yeah, well, you're adding on extra bit of fitness then, I guess.
Yeah. I think just got to make sure I don't get injured or anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You should be right. So what's training look like over last week? I think we spoke maybe just over a week ago, roughly.
Yeah, or even 2 weeks ish.
Maybe, I don't know. It goes quick, eh?
I think I was like just at the surf camp.
Yeah. You were starting doing your surf camp. You're gonna 11 o'clock in the water
right.
every day.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, surf camp was successful, but it was tough. Like surfing and then running every day, like it's a lot of exercise.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty big days, but running went pretty well still. Like the sessions weren't too bad. I feel like I've got pretty good speed at the moment, but some of the long runs are just not quite going to plan. Like the Mara sessions, I just haven't like been able to completely execute them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not too bad. But
what
it's kind of annoying
sessions
that way.
with the speed? Like, what makes you say speed's there? What kind of session?
Yeah, so I've done every week we do either like 400s or 500s on the Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the 400s are off 45 seconds rest, and the 500s are off a minute 15.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 week's not much rest. The next week you get a bit more rest. And they've been like building. I think it's going to build up to like 20 of those by the end of the program. At the moment, I'm at like 16. But they've been good, and like I've been pretty happy with those. Like the pace is like, I don't know, 305s for both, really, maybe 310s for the 500s.
Yep.
Which is pretty solid. Like that's pretty much as good as I can do it when I'm fit. So that's been good. And then we did when we were doing the surf camp, one of the sessions was broken miles. So you do like
Jerome
1K.
loves a broken mile. I remember I actually recently went back to his episode, and the session that he recommended was broken miles. He loves a broken mile.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He's really raving. Well, how's it broken? I want to see if here is the same.
This one was it was like 1K, then 300 like jog, and then 300 hard.
Yep. Broke a mile. Staple.
Break a mile. Yeah. And that was good. Like the 300 at the end, I was moving pretty well. They were like, I think 55 kind of seconds, which is, yeah, like sub 3 minute pace, which is good.
Beautiful.
But yeah, halfway through the session, I had to really go to the toilet, and yeah, I wasn't too sure. Like, didn't plan ahead and figure out, okay, where's the nearest place I can go. So I ended up just like running into this school, and like knocking on the door, saying like, "Hello, is anyone there?" And I just had to like, yeah, run up and find the toilet in the building and go to the toilet and get out of there.
In the
to the end of-
school.
in a school, yeah.
Was anyone like
Um,
being like, what the hell's this guy doing?
I think there were people there, but like I was just absolutely busting. So I just kind of snuck in and did
Yeah.
it.
You're in
I
emergency.
know.
You're literally in emergency mode.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think like probably breaking the law somewhere, like trespassing or something. But oh well, it's
Right.
better that than the alternative of, I don't know, shitting my pants or something.
I remember when we did a long run many moons ago, and you had a similar situation. You ran into an Italian restaurant
Yeah, right.
in like prime time.
Yeah.
Hey, you
It's
gotta go.
happened,
You
like,
gotta go.
yeah, I think being over here, yeah, it's happened a bit as well. Like my stomach's been a bit off. I think we've got like free breakfasts everywhere we go, and I've just been, yeah, loading up on the free breakfast. And that's
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just shouldn't be such a stinge. And
You heard the word
Yeah.
free, and you're like, even if you don't like it, I can see you eating it.
yeah, just eating way too much.
What's in the free? What? Tell me some of the free breakfast style and
It's all like the English and the Irish breakfast as well. So it's like real heavy, like sausages and bacon, baked beans, hash browns, scrambled eggs, all that sort of like heavy stuff.
you're eating a metric ton of it as well, by the sounds of it.
And then yeah, so I eat all that, and then they have like all the buffet stuff you can just take, like toast and cereal and yogurt and stuff. So just having this massive breakfast, which is probably not great.
Are you coming
Um,
in with a plastic bag and like scooping?
That's a good idea, actually.
Oh no.
Nah, but yeah, I should probably, because back at home I don't eat breakfast at all really. Like I just have a coffee or I don't know, something small.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, my stomach's just finding that a bit tricky. But yeah, other sessions, we did 5 by 5 minutes, which was it was okay. I put the workout wrong in my watch. I put it in only as 2 by 5 minutes. So then like halfway
Oh.
through the third rep, I was like, oh shit, like I'm still running and I should be
Stopped.
resting. Yeah.
I didn't know
And I
you
was
did
like, oh, shit,
the
this is
program
wrong.
them. Have you always programmed workouts?
Not normally, but over here it's just easier because you don't know like where you're running. If you're running around a track or somewhere where you know, okay, this is how far this is,
Oh,
then
yep.
it's a bit easier. But yeah, I've been programming it in recently,
Okay.
pretty much the whole time while I'm over here. But that was a fun session still because it was like around a Gaelic football match. And there was like, yeah,
Like an
full,
in progress
grandstand.
match.
I think that, hey,
You mean it was in progress?
yeah, it was in progress. I think it was like the semi-finals of something. There was like probably, I don't know, maybe
It's running
500
around.
people there. Yeah, but that meant that I couldn't go on the oval though, so I just had to find this little out and back on like the other side of the oval. And there was just like a bunch of kids playing around, but halfway through the session they just started like cheering for me every time I went past them. And they didn't know my name though, so they were saying like, "Oh, go Jimmy" and "Go Sean" and stuff. And I was like, and then they finally asked me, "Oh, what's your name?" And then they started cheering me like, "Go Dom."
That's
Which is pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
Jimmy, I can. You're a bit of a Jimmy. I don't know. I could see it, especially with that with the moustache.
But But yeah, it was tough because it was just out and back the whole time. Like, not really ideal for getting a gauge of how I was going. But still fine. And then, the other long run session was around like a race course, which is pretty cool. I've like always wanted to run around a horse racing track. And
How long is it? How far is it around?
it was like 2.5 Ks around.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. But the session again didn't quite go to plan. Like these long run sessions just haven't quite been there. It was meant to be 4x4K, but I just did 3 because the first one was good, the second one was okay, and then the third 4K was just starting to go backwards a bit, and then it was getting dark, and I kind of just talked myself out of it a bit. It'd been a big week that week as well. That was the week of the surf camp, and because I think I talked about it last time, we spent heaps of time like traveling to get there. So I ended up doing the long run on the Monday, and then this was the long run on the Sunday. So it was like 2 long runs within the week, and I was just feeling pretty tired by the end of it. So cut that one short at 3x4K.
I think it's understandable given how much activity you have during the week. Like, still sounds like you're definitely making the most of the program given what you have to do in between.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like starting to plateau a little bit, and like maybe there's just too much going on with like traveling and everything that I'm not kind of recovering properly and seeing the gains from it, because I feel like I've kind of just been stuck at this kind of pace for the last 2 or 3 weeks maybe. But I think that maybe that's just also how fitness goes. Like the first month or 2 you're gonna improve a lot, and then it slows down and gets harder to make those gains.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this last week's been stressful. Like we've just been moving around a lot, having like 1 night here, 2 nights at some places, but just having that kind of uncertainty in your life, like you don't know what the next day is going to look like exactly, and you got to check out, check in, drive to the next place. It's just all a bit up in the air sometimes, but
I guess that's the trade-off of travel to a certain degree. Is like bit of chaos, but then obviously you get to see all these cool places as well. So
it's been cool.
It sort of balance out. It's just like, as in, it's like,
But got to the gym as well for the first time in probably like 3 or 4 months.
Oh yeah,
which was interesting.
Sore after?
Very sore. Like I couldn't walk for like a week almost, and I don't know. I feel like I just, when you get in the gym, you just kind of want to be a bit of a hero. Like you definitely feel like the testosterone running. You see weights and it just spikes or something. I don't know, but we did squats, and I wanted to like go up to 100 kilos. But
Jeez.
Beck was there, and Beck was like, "What are you doing, Dom? Like you haven't done this in a long time. Why don't you just
at least someone's freaking
80?"
At least someone's got their head screwed on. You're like 100 kilos, mate. Yeah, back in my day.
yeah. But probably glad that she said that, because my legs were like just destroyed after that.
Yeah.
And what else is going on? Yeah, started taking like the powdered greens, because
like Athletic Greens.
Yeah, something like that.
That's the one everyone's sponsored by.
Yeah, it's a different brand, but
this podcast is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Don't you remember ages ago? We're not getting. It's all right. We won't get one of those sponsorships. It's all right. They only sponsor Joe Rogan and stuff. But anyway, it's all good. We're still here though.
Yeah.
What's in it? Like what? You know what's in it, or
I don't know, like dried vegetables mostly.
Does it taste like grass?
No, it tastes gross. It's like it's got like that spirulina.
Oh,
like,
that's dangerous.
And it tastes like all like chemically gross.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I reckon it has made me feel a little bit better. Maybe it's just placebo, but
it's gotta be doing something
know.
good if it tastes that bad. It's like surely it's like a it's like
yeah, you'd
if it
hope
tastes
so.
that bad, surely there's a lot of goodness in it.
Yeah, I think that's some good logic. Yeah.
Hardly.
But yeah, I don't know. That's something different, I guess, and it's tough. Like, yeah, trying to eat well because you're just eating out all the time, or you don't have a kitchen to cook anything. So
Yeah,
we've done
probably
a lot of
dialing that in a bit when you're especially traveling in overseas like you are. It's probably good to
Yeah.
at least yeah.
put a bit of effort into it. But yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, you don't really have many options.
So what have you been
but-
eating? Do you know? I assume you go out most nights, right?
Yeah, or we've gone to the supermarket and because like I know money's getting tight, so we've been doing like the meal deals where you get like a wrap and a bag of chips and a drink or something for
Oh yeah,
like $8 or something, which is pretty good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how healthy it is and all of the rest of it, but I don't know. I think when you're running as much as you do, it probably doesn't matter that much. But I don't know.
Today I had a metric ton of McDonald's.
You had a metric ton of McDonald's.
It just makes you feel like absolute shit. I had a large Big Mac meal and I had a large 10-pack nugget meal as well.
Oh,
but 2 waters, so we're all good. It sort of puts you just like, it almost sedates you in a way. It's just like, oh, but it's so good. Oh my gosh. It's so nice.
Macca's, yeah.
It's not good for training. Surely it's not good for
Oh.
training. You probably have it. It's like a big blowout every now and then. You could just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I just remember that when you're like first getting into running, we did a session at night one time, and you'd just come off eating like Macca's for lunch or something.
Oh.
And yeah, didn't go down too well.
No, it was terrible. I think it was pretty sure it was a Sunday and we were doing a long run even, and I just had the biggest stitch after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was not good. But yeah.
What about your training, mate? How's the running going?
Hey,
well, congratulations as well.
Thanks, mate. Since last time we spoke, City Surf has come to an end. Ran, what was it? 46:54, which is much better than I thought. Much better than I thought. In my head, I had sub 48, like just get under 48. But I guess I'll get to the race. I'll just check how far. I'll just go back. Did you see me get grilled in the Delta chat?
About the 851K.
Yeah. Really,
That's
really
the
good.
secret, though.
Mate, that suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was like, no way, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, literally I posted it. And after I was sitting at my desk at work and I posted it and I was like, oh no, because I put a bit of commentary in about like nothing crazy before City to Surf. It's like 8x1K of 60 seconds. Nothing crazy before City to Surf. After that, I was like, oh geez, what have I done? What have I done? I wanted to delete it, but it looks worse if you delete it.
Yeah, everyone's already responding to it.
Yeah, and I got absolutely grilled. What was what were you saying about the secret? It sounds like you were about to confirm like
I can remember like before the Blackmores, maybe it was the PB you ran there a while ago, like 78 minutes or something.
Yeah, we did 1Ks, didn't we?
Yeah. And
we did hard 1Ks.
Yeah, I think you're doing them in like pretty much half marathon pace or quicker even.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I felt like obviously how the session went and the race went aside, like still overall a silly suggestion to put in a group chat of 180 people. but that is, if we could just leave that to one side for a second. In terms of my own training, I felt like the aim was obviously to stay in the threshold zone. So we're not going to be running them too hard. So kept the effort like in that comfortable zone. So when you take 60 seconds rest, it didn't feel like too crazy, to be honest. And I don't feel like if I tried to run them at like 5K, 10K pace or something, I reckon it would have burned me up a lot more. But it just felt like it was an okay session to do. Tobias definitely, the aim was to sort of train like completely through it and just do like a full training week, which I almost did. But the closer I got to the race and the buzz and stuff around it, I kind of just, the more I wanted to taper anyway and just to put a good race in. Also, because obviously I had Matt Gore sledging me about the hills, so there's a bit of fire in the belly to run fast up Heartbreak Hill. But yeah, so did 8x1K leading into it. Then obviously just really easy on the Saturday before the race. Then race day, mate, I forgot how cool that race is. It's just a good sort of good atmosphere. We were lucky enough to get into the like elite / lounge area, which was really
cool,
which was really handy. And then
what goes down the elite lounge?
I just, it's top secret. Can't. It's top secret. I did. Excuse me. Your idea. I did ask about bag drop. I was like almost gonna take my like backpack, and then I thought I'm lucky I asked the question about it, because you definitely don't want to be taking a big backpack, because you just kind of like bunch it up and you get another bag. Excuse me. You get another bag that you have to like your stuff has to fit in. So, I don't even know why I did bag drop. I didn't even take a change of shoes or anything, which was silly. But no, it was good. I definitely felt like going into that race, I definitely knew that I was quite like had that feeling that I was the fittest I've been in a long time, if not like sort of in the best shape I've been in, even. Like I don't excuse me, sorry. When you just sort of like, I don't know, just based on all the training and just how you feel generally, like I feel like
strong and like
it feels strong, like lungs feel strong in the long runs particularly. I just feel good, which I think the last like 4 weeks is sort of building into where I am now, which is good. So definitely felt that last week. So I was pretty confident coming into the race. I was a little bit worried about the 8x1K for a little bit, but then on the Saturday, when I felt fine, and I got to the start line. It's interesting because I wasn't sure how I was going to go on the hills. That was sort of my main concern. But also you gave me a bit of confidence saying, mate, your heels might be one of your strongest things. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. But I started, and it's always bloody quick going down that hill.
Yeah, it goes out very fast. Yeah,
it goes out really fast. There was, just people everywhere. I actually made some pretty poor maneuvers going, I don't know, like sort of trying to get around people and not being too conscious, like if someone might clip the back of my feet, but I managed to get around people. And I think about like just over a K in, I sort of had my eye on a few people to like stick with, but then I sort of just made the decision to go for it and just run my own race and really just see where I end up. Good thing about City Surf compared to other races is I don't really have any metric for like I'm not looking at my watch needing to know, like I need to be on 325s or something, and if I'm not there, then
you're going wrong.
You know what I mean, because I don't know what the pace is meant to be. You kind of like
gives you a bit of freedom to
just have a go. And I just tried to stay stay with what felt like half marathon effort, or maybe even a little bit quicker, and just stay within that zone. And then the first part of the course was hillier than I thought. I don't remember.
It's pretty hilly.
It's pretty hilly. But
it's hilly like until you get to Rose Bay, then it flattens out, and then you go up Heartbreak Hill. So like,
yeah. But the good thing is I don't know how, because you really can ride the downhills. That's the thing. And so like you're going uphill, just pushing. All I tried to focus on was just keep the same effort as when I'm running down hills, like try and stay in that threshold zone and not like overcook myself coming up the hills. But I find I was really able to fly down the hills. And then I was looking out for obviously Heartbreak Hill, and I didn't realize I was looking out at 7K to be like, it starts now, but it starts before that. And I was like, oh, is this hard? Like it's starting now? It's starting now. So I already had gotten up a little bit, but same thing on Heartbreak Hill. I didn't check I wasn't really looking at the watch. I was just trying to push in that same zone. And it was pretty good. Like I felt really strong. I felt really strong on the hills. I think I averaged 354s up Heartbreak Hill because it tells you that segment, which is pretty solid.
It looked like your rank up Heartbreak Hill was like pretty much exactly the same as what you finished in the race.
Okay, solid. So
you paced it like perfectly, really.
Yeah. So, got up Heartbreak Hill, then, another cool thing about that race is the atmosphere is really good. Like you just got people lined on the sides. You definitely have like people carrying on with music and stuff like that, which is awesome. And you just, I saw a few people. The Shields were on the course. There was, I think Nick McNamara as well yelled out, which was cool. I don't know. And then there's just a bunch of people everywhere, which is good. There was no one that were really running in like a pack or anything. It's kind of like breaks up because of the hills. Because some people get dropped on the hills and then some people get dropped on the downhills. But when does
it's kind of good. You can always like see someone just up ahead.
Yep.
So you got someone to chase or like something to focus on the whole way almost.
Yeah, I was definitely looking at Matt Gord. Like, I don't want him to get out of sight. Like, I could see him just in the distance. I was like, I don't want to let him out of my sight because I suspected that was one cool thing to sort of like just keep. Because actually, it was Matt Taylor was ahead.
Oh yeah.
He ran out a bit quicker, but he ran really well. I think he ran like 46:40 or something.
Oh wow, yeah.
Or he ran really well. And then Matt ran 46 like low, like 05 or something, which is crazy. But I could see him in the distance. Anyway, so we got to the top. When does I don't even know when the descent starts. There was a bit more hilly business going on after Heartbreak Hill.
That can be really tough if you've like just shattered yourself up Heartbreak Hill. But how'd you go with that bit?
It was pretty good. Just the same effort. It felt like I was getting. It was starting to get hard. Like for example, towards the end, similar sort of effort towards the end of a half marathon, but not like I wasn't in that like end of a 10K zone where I was breathing really hard yet, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I know I know what that's like. Off the back of what's it called, Sunrun. I've absolutely cooked myself on the Sunrun hill before.
The Sunrun, that's like,
it's brutal.
That's so hard. Like it's just like the worst place to have a hill. Yeah.
And then so brutal because you're in it. Yeah. I just never want to be like that after hills, especially not in a 14K race. But that part was a bit of a blur. I was really just trying to hold on. And I remember the Nova. There was like the Nova radio area just before you start the descent. And that provided such a lift. Like just they were blasting loud music.
Do you know, was there any song in particular?
I don't know. I was actually starting to I was just starting to hurt. But like when the music comes at you, when you're like, because I knew I was
Yeah.
going well. As I had a feeling I was obviously going well. So you're like pumped up, and you're being pushed forward by like you're holding a good pace. So yeah, that was good. It was very electric, Dom. Electric is how I describe it. It's just an electric feeling, mate. He's just laughing on anymore. Jeez.
No, that's how you want to feel. Yeah.
Mate, it's just buzzing, but hurting. And then, yeah,
You're
sorry.
bombing down the hill.
Mate, just bombing down the hill. Yeah, Matt, I actually chatted before the race to Matt. He was just like, I said I was like afraid of falling or something. He's like, mate, no one falls, okay? No one falls.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, good, no one falls.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I remember it being a lot steeper than what it was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember it being really steep, like almost like kind of getting tripped up and stuff in your stride.
Yeah. I was worried about that, but it wasn't. It didn't seem steep enough for that. Another rookie error before is I tried to buy a new pair of Vaporflies the day before.
Oh.
Just as a side note, yeah. I walked into the Nike store and I was like, do you have Vaporflies size 10? He's like, no, mate, we don't. And he looks at me almost not really. He's like, we have size 12. And I was like, do I look like a size 12? But anyway. That's what you get for trying to buy the most popular race shoe a day before City of Surf. But those shoes, the shoes I've probably run 250 Ks in them. So I was like, I kind of wanted a fresher pair, but at the same time, like they still felt really, really solid. Really responsive. But anyway, didn't need to go into that, did I? I was okay, we're back on the hill. So just
how does the shoe compare to the Vaporfly 2s? I need to get a new pair of shoes actually.
Mate, there's no comparison to this. I prefer them so much more. If you want to actually, I could probably sway you by saying there's cheap Vaporfly 2s on the Nike website at the moment.
Exactly.
Did you see them?
That's the thing.
Is that what
over here it's like because the euro is like so expensive. I think that the Vaporfly 2s are still like $300.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the Vaporfly 3s are $450.
What?
So it's like, well, they're 260 euros, which ended up being like 450 Australian dollars. So,
that's ridiculous. They're like 330 Aussie, 330 Aussie for the Vapor 3s, and at the moment the Vapor 2s. Yeah, that's ridiculous. The Ecodin or whatever it is, there's a colorway they mustn't be selling that's now 224 Vapor 2s.
Oh, yeah, geez. Like, I know. I really need a new pair because like my ones at the moment have got a hole in them, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. But,
I think are you going to race Berlin in them?
Well, I was going to hold out and wait until or hope that the Alphafly 3 comes out before Berlin.
Yeah. Okay. Good call.
Which I think they'll probably launch it for Berlin, I imagine. Surely. Like I'd be happy to pay $450 for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of need like a new pair before then because my shoes at the moment are like the rubber on the bottom's coming off. You can see like the carbon plate.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's like a hole
see the
in
carbon plate
along the side. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because I've been using those like 3 times a week for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 8 years, but anyway. Yeah, they've probably got a few. We've probably got a few Ks in them. Between the two shoe, no, for me personally, the Vapor 3s have felt incredible.
Big difference to the
big difference.
Twos,
like they feel, I think I've said this before, they just feel more spongy and a lot more similar to the Alphafly 1, which is good. The Vapor 2 feel, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a good shoe, but they definitely don't feel as good, especially like if you compare them 250 Ks in, they don't feel as good as the Vapor 3s still feel now.
Okay.
But I mean, if it's like a big difference in price. You got to weigh that up. You've also worn the Vapor 2s. You've had problems with the Vapor 2s before as well.
Yeah, just rubbing on the Achilles, but I think like if you put some thick socks on, that kind of
That's fine.
fixes the problem. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But
Vapor 3s.
yeah. Anyways, back to bombing down the final hill at Cedar Surf.
I probably should learn to condense, but anyway.
No, it's good. It's good.
Bombing down
Feeling
the hills.
Electric.
We're feeling electric. Nova provided an electric atmosphere. Yeah, and then the whole plan was just to get the legs turning over as fast as possible and keep the same effort as I've been holding. I think I definitely started trying to move a bit quicker down the hills and run as fast as I can. I was comfortable to then go into that next zone for sure. Like I was starting to, with 3 or 2Ks to go, I was starting to run as hard as I could, really, without like getting to blow up territory.
Yeah.
The downhills were good. I actually had I was running next to someone, which was nice. And we were sort of pushing each other down the hill. When you get down the hill, my legs felt like absolute jello because you were just running so quick, and then you get on the flat and like, I don't know, I was obviously, there's not long to go. What is there, like just over a K?
It's like, yeah, about a K.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, just a K to go, just go as hard as you can. But like they just felt like jello, but I was still running, I don't know, like maybe 3:15s, but it felt so slow. It felt like really, really slow.
Especially coming off the hill, yeah.
But then like turned around the corner, saw Sotar as well. He was taking photos. He was like, "Yeah, almost there. Come on." And
it's a good photo of you from Sotar.
Yeah. He got some really good photos. And then crossed the line, stopped the watch, and was very, very, very surprised at the time, but also just thrilled. It was one of those races that pretty much went, like, I don't think I could have done any more. It pretty much went perfectly. It's very one of those rare races. I don't think I've I don't know if I've had a better race. Maybe Sydney Harbour 10, the very first one I did.
You went to the well then, yeah.
Went to the well. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of people out. I think a lot of good results from Delta as well. And then we went to the pub after. I had
nice one.
Two cheeky beers before the crowd got in. It was sitting with Chris, and then we found a spot to sit down. We had the 2 beers. Man, you get so pissed like real quick. But then as soon as we had those beers, it's absolutely. Have you been drinking after Cedar Surf before?
Yeah, but in the past I've kind of like had lunch and like breakfast and stuff and waited a while until I started drinking.
Yeah, okay. It's just chaos after
so many
it
people
filled up so quickly.
It's almost too much. Like, yeah.
You can't, like, it filled up. I remember seeing someone, I had my eye on someone when we were drinking, and like the line's not moving. This one person was at the front for like half an hour, just not getting served. And then you've got a whole line of people. So it was not really feasible. It was kind of really good in a way that it stopped me, because if I had access to multiple beers, I probably would have drank a lot more than the 2 beers that I did have.
But it's like the atmosphere is that good. You don't really need too many beers anyways.
Yeah, it was good. But we left sort of after like an hour because we needed to get some food. Like you start getting hungry after that point. So yeah, anyway, the overall race is good. Very happy. That's my race recap.
Well done, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Great race.
Appreciate it. Very happy. Overall training's been good given that result. I think I did a session on Tuesday after the Delta session, which was like 3x8 with 3 minutes rest. That was tough. That was tough because, like, obviously, I mean, my quads were absolutely not having a good time after City Surf. Like, they certainly I felt worse on the Tuesday than I did on the Monday, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I got it done. It was like a threshold session, so you could sort of back it off a bit, which is good. And then ran, it just 90-minute MLR the next day, which was tough as well. Just because you're tired, I was just tired pretty much. But I mean, you're running slow. You're not running like a crazy pace or trying to do anything fancy. It's kind of just get through it. Yeah. And then easy the next day, 60 minutes. And then, mate, do you see the monster session? 12x1?
Yeah.
I think that's
flying in that.
I think that's the best session I've done, I reckon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I said last time the 10x1K I did like 3 weeks ago was the best session, and Tobias kind of put me back down. He's like, mate, relax. It was off 75 seconds, just chill out. But then we did this session and he was like, nah, that was a good session. And when you get, nah, that was a good session from Tobias, it means something. It means something. Yeah, that's the best I've felt in a session. 12, right. It was off 60 seconds. We did 12x1K. I think the slowest was 3:17, working down to 3, like the last 5 are like 15, 14, 13, 13, 12. So, yeah, I was very shocked. I think with that session, sort of like 5Ks in, 6Ks in, I was like, how the hell are we going to get through 12? It tests you mentally as well, because, but you can, like, as long as you're in that, like, as long as I'm staying in that zone and not like tipping over into VO2 max, I felt like if I just stayed mentally focused, you could sort of just get through it. And it's a good test of how the aerobic base is going as well. But we had Tobias, Justin, and Sam there, which made a massive difference, all like sort of working together, and like someone would lead. So you just kind of like, so I think that helps like a lot. It feels so much easier when you're sitting behind someone. So
yeah, we had a bit of like training with other people.
It was just a great session. And and that's it. That's my recap. I just want to get to the start line now of
when's the race?
New South Wales half is in 2 weeks, I think. When is it?
Oh shit. It's like start of September.
Yeah, 3rd of September.
Right.
So that's sort of the A race, I would say. And then we've got Sydney Marathon as well, which we're going to do on some Sunday the 17th.
Oh, you're doing the marathon?
Yeah, doing the marathon, but we're not doing like not trying to kill myself out there. Just want to sort of soak it up.
I reckon you could go all right.
Don't do this, Dom. I don't want to be out for. I'm enjoying training way too much to be out for 3 weeks.
I think like keep the focus on the half marathon, see how that goes.
Yeah.
But like, if you run a good half, that'll show that you could run a good
marathon.
Run
a good marathon. I don't know. Stick to the plan. I've been told, stick to the plan.
Yeah. I think all your training's been geared towards the half. That's like the focus.
We haven't done any big long runs. We haven't done any big long run sessions either. There's a very good chance I'd just fall to bits past like 30K, past 25K even.
Yeah, the marathon's a different race, isn't it? It's
I haven't trained specifically for it at all.
Yeah.
That's about it, mate. It's pretty good. I'm in that, like, I don't know. There's always the fear that you're gonna get injured, or like, I don't know. When you're fit, you just don't want the ride to end.
I know, yeah. And like, it's good you're not getting like fed up with it at all yet. I feel like it gets to a point when you're kind of like at peak fitness, you just like mentally almost like, oh, like I've had enough. This is too much. But
I feel like I'm spurred along by good sessions. The mileage is not crazy. Obviously, I have my work is not crazy at the moment. I'm sort of transitioning between roles as well. So it's like,
Oh, cool.
from a running perspective, like, it's just been easier on like I've been able to focus a bit more on running. So there's always going to be a trade-off when work gets busy and stuff like that. So I guess when it's just like make the most of it while it's there. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it comes in waves. But yeah, happy at the moment. Anything else? What do you reckon?
We got world champs coming up.
Oh,
Let's
this
start.
is like serious running chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be out of my depth. All right,
We're
you
not very
lead
good
this
at
one.
this.
No, go on,
but
Dom. Go on, Dom.
I think we should mention it at least.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
like this initiative.
yeah, Budapest World Championships. Get around it. I think a couple of highlight athletes that Australia has in the women's. We've got women's 800. Kat Bissett obviously is one to watch. I think she's like top 10 in the world at the moment.
Oh yeah.
She's got the Australian record. She's could medal probably. Then Abby Caldwell as well is like right behind her. I think she's like within a second of her at the moment. So those two will be good. And then Ellie Stanford's the other one. I think she's probably not as well known and not as well versed at racing on the big stage, but it's a good opportunity for her as well. 1500, we got Jess Hull, who's like, I don't know, a bit of a goat at the moment.
Yeah.
Definitely like one of the best in the world and could, medal as well. Same as Lyndon Hall's like right up there with her as well, like multiple Olympian. And Abby Caldwell's entered in that as well as the 800, which should be interesting. I wonder if she'll race both of them. 5K, we've got Jessica Hull again, who should be looking strong for that too. Rose Davies, who's she's been going pretty good. She had a pretty good season last year. Haven't heard as much about her this year, but I think she'll go all right. And Lauren Ryan, who's had a couple of big results this year and I think she's been looking pretty good. Marathon, we've got Lisa Waitman, who's she's been around for a while, but has just, I think last year she ran like a 2:24 or something in Melbourne, possibly.
Okay.
So she'll be looking good. And then Izzy Bat Doyle, who debuted in Melbourne last year. I think she ran 2:28. And Sarah Klein, who was at the Commonwealth Games last year, I think her PB is like 2:31 or something, but she performs really well in the championship races. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's like right up there with the other girls, even though their PBs on paper are a bit different. And then in the steeplechase for the women's, we've got Amy Cashin, who I think she's represented Australia a couple of times. Cara Finn Ryan, she goes all right as well. And Brielle Urbica, I don't know, I'm not as familiar with the steeple, so I'm pretty sure they're all.
I think you'll be let off the hook. It's funny, before you're like someone that's not as well known. I was just thinking about as well known to me as all the other ones you just said, but anyway.
And the men's team, 800 meters, we got Peter Bowl. There's a bit of a story there. I think everyone knows Peter Bowl, and he's had a pretty crazy year with all the drug stuff and allegations that went on, and were then
weigh
dispelled.
In on that, Dom?
I think that like someone has fucked up in letting that A result get out, like
before it was conclusive.
Yeah, like his name has just been like dragged through the dirt, and he didn't do anything wrong. Like,
so they were definitely not meant to release that at all.
Well, I don't know. Like, you do hear about like when an A result tests positive, it does get out to the media and stuff. But I think that process is just wrong if that's like the way they do it. Because there's always the off chance when that they're clean, like is what happened here. But it'd be good to see him go. I hope he goes well. And then Joe Deng, his training partner. I think Joe's looking good. He's been a bit on and off this year. Like he ran the Australian record, first Australian under 144, but that was kind of like a little bit of an outlier race. I think he's also ran like a lot of races where he's been kind of back in the mix, but I think that's just the 800. It's so fickle, like you don't know what's going to happen. And then Riley McGowan, who was I think he was the Australian champ last year, but he only started running like 2 or 3 years ago. And I think before that he was more like into the gym and stuff. And now he's the Australian champion and representing Australia at the World Champs, which is pretty cool. So I think he's probably got like a lot of potential to keep improving as well, which should be interesting to see how Riley goes. In the 1500, we got Stewie McSwain. Stewie's pretty well known. He's been around for a while. Couple of Australian records. He had like one stellar year. Was it last year or the year before, where he was like, I think he raced like 15 times or something. Did pretty much every Diamond League, and then he had some issues with COVID. But he's been coming back, I think, this year, kind of like.
What issues with like with his lungs and took him a long time to recover from COVID?
He just it took him ages. I don't know if he got the vaccine or if he actually got COVID, but since that happened, it took him probably, I don't know, 6 months or even like a year until he's kind of started to look like his old self. But he's ran, I think, like 3:31 this year, possibly, which is pretty quick, like only 2 seconds off where he was before. And he's been going pretty good, but he's always very bold in his racing tactics, takes it from the front and has a go, which is good. And we got Adam Spencer, who to qualify for the World Champs at the London Diamond League, which I went to, he ran 3:31, which was like a 5-second PB.
Is this a young guy?
I think he's still in college at Wisconsin University. But he's kind of like in that system. He only got a chance in the Diamond League because Ollie Hoare pulled out, and he took his spot and jumped in the race and ran 3:31 and is qualified for the World Champs. So that's a pretty exciting story. And then Matt Ramsden as well, who's he's been around for a while, and I felt like there was a lot of hype around Ramsden when he was coming through. Like as a junior, he was winning all the national titles, and he's gone pretty well. Like he's multiple Olympian and Australian representative, but I think that everyone just had a lot of expectation on him. He's kind of got like a similar build to Mottram, and I think he's still got like that potential. Something about him looks like he's going to run real quick, but a lot of the times he just hasn't quite met expectations, I think, for a lot of people. But I think that's just carryover from being a star junior. Everyone just has these thoughts that you're going to be the next big thing. But he'll be interesting to watch. I hope he goes well, because I really like Matt Ramsden.
I think you've been talking about him for a while.
He's
good.
And then in the 5K, we got Stewie again. I think it probably depends how his 1500 goes if he'll run the 5K. And Morgan McDonald, who I think he was a couple of years younger than us at one of the schools that we compete against all the time. So he's he was a Sydney kid. He went over to America. Hey?
Which school?
I think Newington.
Okay.
Yeah, but he went over to America and like absolutely dominated the NCAA cross country. I think he was like 3 or 4 time champion.
Wow.
And then after that, there was like a lot of expectation on him to perform going pro, and he's run all right, but again, probably similar to Ramsden. Like I think he's just been a bit unlucky with injury and things like that. But there was a lot of expectation on him, especially after winning all those NCAAs, that he was going to just go and dominate the pro level. But yeah, same again. He's kind of, I think he's just been injured a lot. Like, but he's got so much talent that he can still run pretty well. Like I say, I think he's only run 1 or 2 races this year, and he's still qualified for the world champs, which is pretty impressive. Then in the steeplechase, we got Matt Clark, who's pretty solid. My steeple knowledge again is not amazing.
I was like, oh no, he's back on the steeplechase. I thought you would have learned.
He's I think he's multiple Australian champion, and he went to the Olympics in Tokyo. I think that was his first Olympics. So yeah, he should go pretty well. And there's no men's marathon runners, which is interesting. I think everyone chose to give it a miss, because I'm pretty sure that a few guys like Liam Adams and what's his name, Brett Robinson, would have qualified for it. But
yeah,
I think the focus is on the Olympics next year, so everyone kind of is giving it a miss. But yeah, that's the Australian team.
Hey, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks.
I can't believe we waited 64 episodes to actually include some genuine running chatting here.
I know, we don't do much of that, do we? I think maybe at the end of the World Championships, we'll just run through all the results of everyone.
That was good.
And then that way we can tick it off that we are
serious running podcast. Very serious
running podcast.
Did you notice how much I didn't talk during that whole segment? Like, let's just keep
up a couple times.
Yeah, for not so good comments anyway. Did you just do a bit of you sound like you were well versed in all those I don't know, just sound like you know what's going on. A
student of the sport, mate.
Yeah, mate, yeah. No, that was good. That was good. You gotta pull the goods out now and do those segments.
Yeah, should make that a segment. Just yeah, professional running chat, I guess. I don't know. It's not really our thing, is it?
No, sorry. You did a good job. It was good. Very thanks. Informative. You taught me a lot.
So there you go. All right, I guess.
All right.
Wrapping up.
Yeah, wrapping up. Shout out to Ian for doing our intro so well. That's hilarious.
Good. I love that. And shout out to Pajama Sundays.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was
I don't know. We've come this far, 64 episodes or whatever, and yeah, Pajama Sundays. They're the band who wrote the music for the intro, or like we took their song for the intro, and they're just like an incredible band. Like it's kind of poppy music, but yeah, a little bit kind of out there. But give them a listen. They're really good. I think Lockie Raper, who we had on the show, his brother's in the band.
Yeah.
Charlie Doherty, he was the band manager. Had Charlie on the show as well. Yeah, like band manager in quotation marks.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you can go to one of their gigs, like I would highly recommend it. It's probably like one of the funnest music events I've ever been to.
Yeah, you raved on it. You raved on about it quite a few times, which is a big
I think because it's
review.
Like it's like pop music, but because they're not like a well-known pop band, they kind of have to like bring the energy to the crowd.
Yeah,
and it was just like incredible, like so much energy, so much fun. Would definitely recommend going to one of their concerts if you can, but I don't think they perform that often, but yeah, when they do, get around them.
100%. Love that. All right, mate. Well, you're going to be away for a bit now.
Yeah, I think just this week, we're doing this hiking, and then after that,
tee something up week before.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, then in that case, stay strong
and stay fast.
Yeah, we got grilled by Adrian for not getting it right.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you mean you saw that? Oh, he left a comment, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the only comment, and what did he say? I'm gonna look up right now.
He's like, I
It was
can't
not
believe
very
it's taken you
nice.
63 episodes.
I'm gonna have a look at this. Was it on?
So
Leave
on
a. What do you
Spotify.
think about the episode?
I was like, oh, here we go. Someone's going to leave a nice review.
Yes. I can't see it. What the hell? Oh no, it's actually on. Is it on the
You have to be
management
on
side?
the yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
positive. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't positive.
Yeah.
So thank you for that,
Just got
Adrian.
grilled for not knowing the catchphrase, but
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know.
it's probably fair, but we'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
All right, Dom. We'll catch you later.
Right. See you, Smitty.
See you, mate.